I'm here to disrupt everything the diet and food industry has told you for years. What if you could stop obsessing over food and weight, understand exactly what your body really needs to thrive, all while learning how to feel empowered, confident, and in control? Hey there, I'm Carrie a certified nutritionist, award-winning educator, behavioral specialist, international speaker, and mom of two amazing college-age daughters. I'm here to help you disrupt everything the diet industry has told you about your health and your body. So here's the truth. Sure, what we put in our bodies matters, and it's more than just nutrition. As a nutritionist and a behavioral expert, I'm uniquely qualified to marry both the science of what our bodies need along with how to change your relationship with food, and all while realizing your value. I want to help teach you to reach your health, wellness, and yes, even weight loss goals with powerful conversations, science-backed strategies, and real talk. I'll teach you how to break free from the cycle of dieting, deprivation, and self-sabotage and start truly living. No more temporary fixes here, just sustainable wellness for you, your family, and your future that no one is talking about. You were not put on this earth to find the right diet, so it's time to stop living like you were. Join me each and every week as I share practical advice, a fresh perspective on the power of mindset, and tips that empower you to live your purpose, all while still enjoying the foods you love. And yeah, that even includes carbs. So if you want something different, you have to do something different. Consider me your something different. Welcome to the Diet Disruptors Podcast. Well, hey there, Carrie here, and welcome to another episode of the Diet Disruptors Podcast. And today we have a guest that has truly disrupted everything that all of us have kind of been led to believe about what our bodies need to thrive. I can't wait for Diamond to be able to share with you her story, her inspiration, and give you hope and some strategies for how you can take what she has done and make it your own. Diamond, welcome. I'm so happy to have you here.
I'm happy to be here. Thank you.
Oh my gosh.
I'm
I
excited.
I love everything about you, what you stand for, and you've gone through a tough time. You've had a tough run of it. And, very often, and I love that your name is Diamond because how is a diamond formed? A diamond is formed from a piece of coal that has to go through the
Yes,
fire. So
through
the
the
fact that that
fire.
is your name is just so amazing. And you have had a really scary, scary road. And while, like I always say, confidence doesn't come because we've met our goals. Confidence comes when you know what you're doing is right. And you have this confidence that you know what you're doing is right. So I would love for you to share the fact what happened in your life and the crazy advice that your doctor gave you that will blow everybody's minds when you think, oh, my doctor told me blank, and what ended up happening to you and how you were advised. So I can't wait to share this part of the story. So tell us a little bit about you and what was going on in your life just before I met you.
And so I was on dialysis because I have a kidney failure. And then I received a kidney transplant. And, my kidneys now working and, I'm functioning, things like that. And
And
as
how
I'm
long
doing,
ago did you have the transplant? How many months ago was that?
that was May 10th,
Okay.
May 10th,
So
2024. So just a few months ago.
yeah, not that long ago. Okay. So kidney failure, oh, kidney transplant, and you were going through dialysis.
Yes,
All right.
which
So,
was traumatic.
I mean, all of this is traumatic, right? And how old are you, Diamond?
I just turned 54 on the 16th of October.
Happy birthday and
Thank
54.
you.
Look at you. You're just like, you really exude the epitome of health. And just a few months ago, you weren't in that place. But
Right.
as we think about all of the things that you have been going through, I need you to just share and blow everybody's minds about the advice that you were given by your doctor as you were going through all of this trauma?
Yes. So while on dialysis, my phosphorus was low. So when I was getting discharged, the doctor told me my phosphorus was low, and then he was like, "Well, what you can do for that is you can drink some dark soda. As a matter of fact, Coca-Cola." I was like, "Coca-Cola? You want me to drink soda? I don't drink soda. Is there anything else?" It's some couple of things you can look up, but there are a few things.
Uh,
I was like, "What?"
let me just be real clear. There is zero nutritional value in Coca-Cola. Zero.
Right.
But good on you for like pausing and being like, no. Like that's not what I'm gonna do.
No.
So walk us through where you were, what was going on, like what your next steps were, because you were like, no, I'm not taking that advice. And because to go from where you were to where you are now is nothing short of what many people would think is miraculous, but in all reality, it was pretty simple what you
It was
did.
pretty simple.
But you had to be in the right place to do it, and you had to find the right solution. So tell us kind of your journey once you were discharged and you were on your own.
So I was discharged, and what I did was I went to Google,
You went to Dr. Google.
Dr. Google, and I started Googling things like what to eat or what to drink and what not to drink,
Mhm.
with my situation. And opposite of Coca-Cola, I found, the right things. And I was like, oh, okay, this is so many other options that I can have besides Coca-Cola. And then I began doing more research, and I'm like, I have to figure this out.
Yep. Yep. And I remember you were saying that you heard some stuff about uh blood sugar stabilization.
Yes,
So tell
because
me
they
what
sent
you heard.
yeah, so I got sent home with a blood glucose monitor.
Hmm.
I forgot that part, right? So I got sent home with that, and I was thinking, do I got diabetes? Do I got this? And they were like, no, that's just because of the meds that you're taking. So I now, like I said, I'm on Google looking for things like diabetes and things like that, and everything I looked up pointed to, even kidney disease pointed to blood sugar stabilization. I was like,
So
what is that?
isn't that so interesting? I mean, we know right now that 93% of people have metabolic dysfunction. And I mean, that's basically all of us, right? And you're sitting here suffering from kidney disease, realizing that blood sugar is it can be attributed to kidney disease as well as like every other symptom. Like, doesn't it blow your mind that you're only learning that after you've gone through a kidney transplant?
Right. My second kidney
You're
transplant.
you're I don't think I realized it was two, Diamond.
Yes.
And yet no okay. So this is an exact example of why I get so adamant about educating people around the importance of dysregulated blood sugar, because it is like it's happening to all of us. And
Yes.
yeah, it's until we get the literal like danger, danger, you're dying, like whether it's like pre-diabetes, diabetes, kidney failure, cancer, stroke. I mean, even high blood pressure, high cholesterol, all is attributed to a dysregulated blood sugar. So now you're given a continuous glucose monitor, which is kind of cool. I mean,
Yeah.
I work with a lot of people around the continuous glucose monitor, but you didn't know anything about how to eat to balance your blood sugar. Am I right?
No, I didn't know anything.
So was the monitor helpful?
So I didn't get the monitor. I was just checking. No monitor now. No monitor,
Oh,
even though
you
they
were
said,
just checking on a
and I
like
had
blood.
the one that you check every time before I eat. So
Yeah,
I
yeah, yeah.
had
So you're just getting the
that one.
one and done. You're not actually, you weren't even getting the continuous, which is
No.
okay. So that doesn't even tell you that much information because it's just a moment in time.
Yes, because I did ask for that after I did a little research. I said, can I get that? They was like, no, because you're still healing, and it's a little prick, and so we're just gonna do the way that I'm doing. I was like, okay.
Isn't that funny?
But
It's a
everything
little
said that
prick
was
in your
good.
arm. It's a little prick in your arm, but you can prick your finger multiple times a day. And it's not really, it's like a little kitten whisker prick on your arm. But anyway, I digress. They're telling you that blood sugar matters. but they're telling you to have Coca-Cola. Oh,
It
okay.
was frustrating. I was
Yeah.
very concerned about, my overall health because of that information.
Yep. So then I think you found me on the Google somewhere. Am I right?
I did. I found you a couple of times and you were so bubbly. And then you said the word blood sugar stabilization. I said, oh, I found my person.
Oh, I
I
feel like
found my
we
person.
are connected. I love that. You found your person. And so, I think that that's I mean, I've been doing this for 10 years. Like this is like second nature to me, but I love that blood sugar is coming out a little bit more. I just think that people don't understand what they need to do. And I think people are doing blood glucose monitors, but it doesn't really matter if you don't know how to fuel your body and how to actually establish a lifestyle. So
Right.
we actually got you into some small group coaching to be able
Yes.
to every day for like 100 days learn a little bit about your body, about your mindsets, and about how to make this a lifestyle. So talk to us about what it's like to learn in that way, why that was so important for you, as well as the small group concept.
It was amazing. I mean, just to be in there with other women that are wanting to, better their health and get educated, it was phenomenal. So I had Coach Donna every day. She was, sending us messages, just being a coach, letting us know things and just keeping us grounded. So the whole program that I was doing at the time was phenomenal. It was like I did not want to stop. It was like every page I turned, every 100 days was phenomenal. I couldn't wait to get to the next day. But then I started feeling better. So I like I can't stop now.
So
I,
talk to
I
us
cannot
about
stop.
what did it look like when you were quote unquote feeling better, right?
So when I was feeling better, I was getting more sleep. I was getting off of some of the meds that I had been on for a long time. The
Really?
doctors started saying, you don't need high blood pressure medicine. You don't need, I had anxiety medicine. I didn't need that anymore. I didn't need cholesterol medicine. It's so many medicines that I did not need. And I started feeling fantastic. And they were like, what are you doing? You look great. What's happening with you? So I was like, I'm doing the right thing. I am now finally trying to thrive instead of survive. And they were like, good for you. So it was phenomenal.
Isn't that amazing? Like you were just surviving and your doctors were helping you. Like that's really their job is to keep you from dying, but not
Yes.
necessarily showing you how to live. And I think that the connection of what your doctors kept you alive, let's be honest, your doctors did a transplant. Like
Yes.
that's insane
Amazing.
amount of science, skill, and respect. And that ability to heal from the inside out is not necessarily where their specialty is. And I love that in a
True.
way we were able to collaborate, right? And kind of take both in, but it really required you showing up for yourself in a different way. So let's talk about that. You were the word, I'm not really going to mean it when I say this word, but like on the operating table, you are like a victim, not victim, but like you are just at the mercy is probably a better word
Yes.
of your doctors. There's nothing you can do at that moment. You got to put full trust in your doctors. But I think so often in our culture right now, we just expect some sort of a fix to be given to us, whether it's a shot, whether it's a pill, whether it's a magic diet that's going to get us to that healthy point because, other aspects of our medical expectations are that we lay on the operating table and we're at the mercy of our doctor. Our doctor's going to tell us what to do. They're very, very, very smart. But
Yes.
there's a difference between being smart and well trained and being smart and just not well trained. In order for them to be trained and to do what they did for you, they're not going to be able to be trained into doing all of the things. And I think that's why, you know, it's so important to me that based on my training, my experience, my knowledge, that I can get into your hearing and to get into your state of being, but you don't get to lie on an operating bed with me. You actually have to do it. So you're not at the
Right.
mercy of me telling you what to do, giving you a shot or a quick fix. I want to be able to show you, teach you, get your head in the game, but you got to do the work. So
Yes.
that's the switch, right? From what a lot of us are wanting. or think that we want. But
Right.
we're never going to get that sustainable lifestyle that we want if we didn't actually own the transformation. What
Right.
made you decide that you were going to do that? Because you did every single day for over 100 days. You learned a little bit and then implemented. The next day you showed up, you learned a little bit more, and then you implemented the next day. And you did that for 100 days and you're doing it again for another 100 days. What made you show up? Because
I
it
showed.
wasn't as easy as lying on an operating table. Let's be
No.
honest.
To be honest, I felt like my life depended on it. I really
Mm,
did. I was like, I have to complete this. I have to complete something, something that's going to better my life. I have children, I have grandkids. So I was like, I have to do this. And every day I just said, I'm going to show up. Things happen now. Things happen. Power outages, grandbaby sick, things happen, but I showed up every day. I was like, I can't miss a day because it's 1%. 1% is it's easy over time, but things
yeah.
happen that can throw you off. But I just continue showing up.
And that to me is what you're saying. I'm hearing what you're saying is that your why was really big. And
Yes.
despite the fact that you weren't given any of this advice, nobody from the outside of your world that you trusted with your life was telling you you needed to do this. But
No.
you knew this made sense.
Yes.
And I commend you for that because a lot of people want what you said you wanted, but they're not doing what you did. So huge shout out for you. But let's talk about what you
No, thank
learned.
you.
I want you to actually let's teach a little bit because not
Yeah.
only Diamond, I'm going to give people a spoiler alert about you. Not only did Diamond make a decision to say yes to herself and show up every day and learn and be a community member in her small group, she decided to actually get certified as a health and lifestyle coach. And you just finished your certification.
Yes. And
Congratulations.
that's exciting. Thank you.
So exciting. And I think when you think about it's October right now as we're filming
Yes.
this. And in May you were on the operating table in May.
I was on the operating table in May.
Would you ever have thought May, June, July, August, September, October, in 5 months, you would be at this level of health and be able to help others on this journey?
No, I didn't. But I did say by my birthday, I'm going to be in a better space.
And when's your birthday?
My birthday was October 16th, and I got my certification on October 15th.
There you go. Well, happy birthday to you. I mean,
Thank you.
you didn't need any better gift, and that was you showing up for yourself. So let's get into a little bit of that education. So, mind, body, lifestyle, those are all the pieces that you committed
Yes.
to learning about a little bit over time. And if somebody was to ask you, okay, like, what were you doing? What did you learn? I know you can't just it's a lot, right? 100 days of stuff plus a
Right.
certification. But give us sort of these, look at these pillars, body, mind, and lifestyle. And let's dig into body. What are some of the big pillars around that concept that you feel like people need to know?
About movement. Because sometimes people hear exercise and they get nervous, like, oh, I can't exercise. All you would have to do is really move. So I
Mm,
started moving and stopped putting kind of workout and exercise in my head. And it kept me moving. It was like my body is going to move every day, no matter what, for 30 minutes. And then it went up a little bit. I bought a rowing machine. So I don't even have to
Ooh,
go to the gym to row. It's right here.
yeah, yeah. And okay, so movement is so important. And we talk about six
Yes.
spinning plates with
Yes.
movement being one of them. Why is movement so important?
Because you have to move in order to if you sit down and not do anything, you have to be able to move. And plus, for your blood sugar stabilization, that's one of
Yeah.
the things that you need to do
Yeah.
is move
I
along with
love
other
that.
things.
Like a little hack, right? Is after you eat, you could go for a walk. Even like
Yep.
a 10-minute walk is going to help that. I always say a body, and this is not my saying, I've heard this a million times, a body in motion stays in motion, a body at rest stays at rest. And you're a grandmother.
I'm a
Like
grandmother
you got
of
little,
seven.
how old are your grandbabies?
They are the youngest one she'll be 2, and the oldest one is 13. So I have
Okay.
7 grandkids.
Oh my gosh. And so if you're not moving your body, you're never going to be able to move for them. And
Right.
I love that. But especially as we get older, as we get into our 50s, 60s, 70s, like if you want to move when you're 80, you're going to have to start moving today,
That's
right?
correct.
I love that. So that's a great tip. That's a great piece. And I think it's like this goes to that next pillar around mindset. People know this, Diamond. Like if you
Yes.
ask people, they're like, "Yeah, I know I got to move my body." Right? So it's not like that's rocket science. I mean, the
Right.
unbelievable if we could have a drug that gave us the amount of longevity and health that just 2 or 3 days of strength training would give, that would fly off the shelves. People would spend all sorts of money on it. But like it is a longevity drug, but people have to do it
Right.
to actually get the benefit of it. So that goes with that next pillar around mind. I know what to do, but
Yes.
I just don't do it. So while people know they have to move their bodies, you knew you had to move your body. You're now doing it at a different level than you did before. What changed in your mindset and what can you offer in terms of some real like teachable things that you learned around mindset?
So I realized that, and it was a mindset thing for me that if I work out once in a while, I'll be okay. If I just do, 10 minutes a month, I'll be okay. But that wasn't the case. I wasn't okay. I didn't have muscles. I started
Yes.
looking like I was losing muscle and things like that. And I just knew I was like, I got to do something. I got to do
Yep.
something every single day if I have to, in order to everything else to work with nutrition, with the other six plates. So with nutrition and sleep, those
Yeah.
all work together along with movement and exercise. And I really believe that it's very important. I started feeling better just by sweating and removing toxins.
Yeah.
Who
Isn't that
knew? I didn't
amazing?
know.
Yeah. And then when you start to feel that, you're like, oh, but what I'm also hearing you say is like your why gets stronger. You take a look at yourself and you're like, whoa, because we're going in one direction or another. It's 1% regress or 1% progress, right?
Yeah.
And so I always say when you know you can do, and while we say, I know what to do, I just don't do it, without a strong why, you won't ever do it. And so I really think that if people aren't really digging into what they want and why they want it, they won't show up for themselves, even though they need to. And what I'm hearing from you is you're like, I had to.
I had to.
And I think I don't want people to have to go through a liver transplant or cancer or diabetes or be on the last rung of metabolic health, hanging on for dear life before they start to do something.
Right.
And the fact that you are like living testimony to how incredible our body is amazing. All right.
I,
So now we have a pillar of lifestyle, which is the third pillar in what you've been really digging into and learning. And so how does your lifestyle look different now than it did before you learned all of this? And, I want you to think about like if somebody is like doesn't have that lifestyle, like what could it look like and what does it look like?
well, it's much happier, healthier, vibrant. I do things now that I would have never thought about doing. So it looks really good. I mean, I exercise. I have daily habits. So things
Mm.
that I didn't have before. So the habits are good. I habit stack. So I just
I
find
love the
I
terms
utilize
you're
my time
using.
better. I know.
Let's talk about
Thank
habit
you.
stacking. What is habit stacking?
Habit stacking is when you do multiple habits. Like today, I was on a row machine and I also was doing self care. So I was doing my face, I had my mask on, I was doing that.
Oh,
And I was also
multitasking.
reading. So I was like doing different habits that I would normally do or walking up and down the stairs. And if I'm reading something or something like that, or listen to a podcast, I could do more than one thing at a time, which I can add self care to movement. So it's just being able to do more than one habit at a time.
Yeah,
So
I
that's
love
habit
that.
stacking.
Yeah. And so also when you think about one of the things that we talk a lot about when we're coaching people is the importance of routine, especially morning time. So,
Yes.
how it sets us up for the day to be intentional. How
Yes.
has morning time become a part of your lifestyle and how does that set you up for success?
That's one of my favorite things to do now is just get up and I have a plan. I have, what I'm going to do. I do it. I get up, I meditate, and then I get something to eat. And then once I do that, I focus on what I have to do for the rest of the day. And then I start my workout, my exercise. So I do that and I do it every single day. I show up for myself and it makes me feel good. I feel really, really good doing it. So I love it. It looks good and
So
it feels good.
yeah, and what I'm hearing, how long do you do morning time for?
So I do morning time for about maybe 45 minutes.
And so that
So about
includes
45 minutes.
that quiet time, that meditation, that intentionality around planning your day and a workout. Like
Yes,
to me, it's like worth getting up that much earlier. And a lot of us are just dilly-dallying anyway in the mornings. We're really not
true.
being productive. But how does that set you up for success the rest of the day? That's my first question. I have another question after that. But how does that set you up for success for the rest of the day?
So I know what I'm doing for the rest of the day. I know
Mhm.
what I have planned, scheduled. Even when people call me, they now say, "What you have planned for the rest of the day?" They ask me because
Ah,
they know I have things planned for the rest of the day. They say, "But can I call you at 4?" Let me check my no, not 4. It's not good. So I have everything planned in a way that I never did. I'm way more organized.
I
Way everybody notices I'm way more organized than I was before.
I love that. And that is where it's like intentionality is sometimes all we need. We don't need more time. We just need to be
Yes.
intentional. And these systems in our lives are so, so, so important. So then my second part of the question is, you know, you were saying earlier, like life shows up. Sometimes you're not going to be able to do everything the way it's intended all the time. And we're never
Right.
about perfection. So I think about morning time as well as a way for me to recalculate from yesterday if I didn't get through the things I wanted to get through or my day got derailed. How does and we talk about it as cleaning the bird poop up, right? Like
Yes.
I have this whole metaphor of a bird that poops on my outdoor chair every day, and I have to go and clean that bird poop up every single day. And if I don't, the poop adds up. And I think about all the things that happen to us over the day is kind of like bird poop. And if we're not
Right.
waking up and cleaning off the bird poop, then it's just going to stink a lot, and we're going to live a pretty poopy life and day. So, how has that helped you if you haven't been perfect the day before, if you didn't do all the things that you wanted to do? How does having that morning time help you get yourself and keep yourself back on track?
That's exactly right. It helps me recalibrate. So at
Mm,
nighttime, I kind of look over things as well. So I have a nighttime. And then in the morning time, I go at it and things don't get piled up. And if they do, because life happens,
yep.
sometimes you can't do all the things, but you can handle all the things better when you have intentionality. And that's really
Yes.
important.
Yes. Yeah. And it's the difference between being impulsive and being intentional.
Right.
We talk about this, right? I think we have in one of our lessons that you did a picture of somebody eating a pizza, like binging on a piece of pizza, and then somebody being at a family pizza night, right?
Right.
What's that difference between that impulsivity and that intentionality? Because the person just like throwing pizza in his mouth is being impulsive, but the person eating that same pizza with his family is intentional. What's the
Right.
difference?
The difference is intentional is you know you're gonna have pizza, you plan it. Your intention is to have the pizza that day and to eat the pizza.
Yep.
But if you're being impulsive and like, okay, what I'm going to have today, let me see what I'm going to have, and you're just getting anything that you might think, is a good thing to eat right at the second,
Yep.
it's not a good feeling.
Yeah, it's really around like often an emotional response and like throwing food in our face without even enjoying it. Like
I've
really,
been there.
right?
Yeah, I've
Right.
been there before.
We've all been there before. So I love that kind of concept. So how did you mentioned Coach Donna, who's an amazing
Yes.
coach, and I know that you're going to be an amazing coach as well as you have learned from one of the best for sure. But Coach Donna can only be as good as kind of the community around her. And I'm so excited that you're going to be able to impact your community because, like you have grown kids, you have grandkids. I always say to with my kids, like I cared who they hung out with, right?
Yeah.
Because who they hung out with kind of is about who they become. And so who are we surrounding ourselves around. Many people in our lives are not living this philosophy, this approach, this lifestyle. And so that's why you being in a small group with Donna, with a few other people that were going through this journey with you was so important to me. How did that impact you and help with your progress and success?
So I felt like I was being paired with the best women in the world. I was like, this can't be real. The community was phenomenal. The support from each one of them was amazing. I feel like they're my family now. They are my family.
And
They
I
are
love
my
that you said
family.
that, the support from each one of them, but they were going through the same process you were. It's not like they knew more than you did, but they
Right.
just had a similar why and they wanted to be relational.
Yes.
So, like, how does that help?
It helped because you get to inspire one another. You
Hmm.
get to learn from one another because even though we're all aiming for the same thing, some of our things are a little bit different, or we may not have known, or they may have shared something that they found out. So, community is very important. It was very important for me. If somebody couldn't make it for some reason in a Zoom or something, we were all like, where were you? Where are you? We
Oh,
all need one another. It was like a link. It was like a link literally.
I love
We
that.
were
And
linked up
you
together.
know, Donna had reached out to me and she's like, our small group is having our last Zoom together for a while. And could you pop in and surprise them? And it's so crazy how when I hopped into that Zoom, I could feel the energy and the love between all of you. And it was so cool. You guys were talking about, while you were being coached over 100 days, it wasn't over. It was like, then we're going to do another 100 days and another 100 days. And it's like
Yes.
so different than like when you think about like Whole30, you're supposed to do it for 30 days, right? And then what? The idea of a lifestyle is that you're never done evolving, you're never done learning. And by you having that group, you guys were pushing each other,
Yes. We
holding each other
were. They pushed
accountable.
me. We were.
And
We
and
were definitely doing that.
I mean, your story is so inspiring anyway that I can't imagine that you weren't inspiring to everyone else, but I love to hear that they were inspiring you as well.
Yes.
It's so
That was so
so
true.
so important. And so now as you continue to live this lifestyle, right? Now you're doing your next another round of 100 days, is that right?
Yes. I call it 100 days and beyond.
Oh, I
So
love it. I love it.
absolutely.
So now what are you focusing on? Because this is a journey that never ends. Are you in agreement, right? Like it doesn't
Yes.
stop, right? You keep going. So what's your
Yes.
focus now? You've come so
So
far.
my
What more do you have to do? What more are you working on?
So I'm focusing on just doing all the things and focusing on how important stress relief is or stress management is. That's very important. As I said, I had anxiety before. So I'm working on just not letting things stress me out. And
Mm-hmm.
so that's important. So just mindfulness and things like that
Yeah.
and meditating and those kind of things. So that's really important
And
because
I love that you're learning tangible ways to think differently and do differently to manage your stress.
yes,
And that you're doing all of the lessons over again. And it's almost like each time you do them, don't you feel like you learn more?
I
Like even
did.
more, even though you've already done it before?
I was like, wow, I had to highlight a different color. I was like, wait, wow. I was so excited because it's like you said, it's like I learned something new as soon as I started my 100 days over, which make it more exciting as well, because you're going
Hmm.
to learn something again, 1% at a time for 100 days and beyond.
Yeah.
That was
I think
phenomenal.
about it like so many people do try to do, a diet or an approach. And they're like, I tried it and like it didn't totally work. It didn't really work. But like it is really about consistency over time. But when you walk in as a new learner to an approach, brand new, you don't have any real background. You came in
Right.
to working without really that much background knowledge. You just knew like blood sugar was important and this is something I know I need to do. But if you don't have a lot of background knowledge, you're only going to be able to learn so much because your brain can only take in so much without that background
Right.
knowledge. Now you go and do it a second time, you now go in with background knowledge. So
Yes.
now more makes sense because you understand more. And we have, I love it when I see people go 3, 4, 5 times and they're every 100 days. They're just kind of diving deeper and deeper into it. And I love that that's what you're doing and focusing on stress because as you've
Yes.
learned, how does stress impact your blood sugar?
Yeah, it impacts it a lot. So when you're stressed, your blood sugar is way up.
Hmm.
It's way up. Or it could be real low. It's
Yeah.
just not stabilized.
Right.
So it's
Right.
not stabilized when you're stressed.
And you're throwing off all the other hormones and your metabolic health as a result.
That's correct.
So, Diamond, you really are like you went through the fire and came out a diamond, and you already were
Yes.
shining bright. But I love that your
Well,
light is
thank you.
shining brighter and brighter now that you're becoming the healthiest version of yourself. And
Yes.
I can't wait, like, how much you know and how big your heart is to be able to help other people transform their lives. That's why I do this, because gosh, it's like a ripple effect. So I can't wait to hear about
I
all the
can't
lives
wait
that you
too.
transform.
Yes, me too. I can't wait. I'm looking forward to it.
You're amazing, amazing. So
Thank
how can
you.
people connect with you, Diamond? How can they follow you, learn more about your story? And I think people are going to want to hear more about your journey as you go through it yourself. Because it's only been 5 months.
That's true. So I'm on Facebook as Diamond Powell, and I'm on Instagram as Diamond Powellness, like
How
wellness with my last name. So Diamond Powellness.
Powellness, NESS. All right.
Yep,
We'll link all
like
of that to.
wellness with POW.
I love that. I love it. I love it. Diamond, you're amazing. I'm so happy to be connected with you. I'm actually very honored that you trusted me. I know there's a lot of noise out there, right? Like you click on something and you get a million other things that are telling you the same. And
True.
I think we were connected for a reason, but I also just don't, it doesn't lie light on me that you trusted me with literally your life and our team and our coaches. And I appreciate that every single day. And I'm so grateful for that. And I'm just really excited that you're going to keep fighting the fight and helping others to do the same. You're amazing.
Thank you so much.
All right, babe. We will make sure you follow Diamond and continue to see how her journey evolves. Bye.
Bye.